Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. If you like the video today, please come in and share. We'll surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards Football. I'd like to give special thanks to our producer today that's making it happen, the very talented Logan Landers. Our video today is we're going to recap the 2024 San Francisco 49ers NFL Draft Class. I'm your host, Vincent Turner, and today joining me is a gentleman that's a diehard San Francisco 49ers fan. He's a very talented writer that comes to us today for FirstRoundMark.com, and he said he believes 49ers red and gold. So, Mr. William Yanish, we appreciate you coming on today. So if you like the video today, please come in and share. We surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards Football. Mr. William Yanish, how you doing today? The rock star.
Oh, man.
Draft. Tell us about the San Francisco 49ers draft class.
I'm not even sure, man. This is like, my first day back, my first show back, like 3 years or 3 years, 3 days, 3 days into my week off, and I already had my first evaluation turned into my editor. I mean, no, man, fans probably really don't understand that a whole lot, but 2 weeks ago, that was my Christmas, New Year's, and everything combined.
Yes,
no, man. Coming off the Super Bowl loss, that's definitely a thing that, I sitting there and it draws you in between needs and picks that you think that can get you over the top, and the morning of the draft, Thursday when it opened, I got online and for some reason it just kind of hit me. And I was relatively sure that we were after South Carolina's wide receiver, Xavier Legette. And I even posted that on Facebook, And, we come down here, we come down there and Legette's on the board. And I'm like, oh, man, here we go. I'm going to call this draft pick. Oh, man. And then we end up with Ricky Parasol out of Florida. But, the thing is, I started watching some of this. And when a player pops, when I'm watching someone else's film, that is a rarity in my mind. Anyway, I'm concentrating on the one player when I'm watching film. This isn't just sitting back watching TV, and watching a game, drinking a beer or something. I might be drinking a beer, but, fast forward, rewind, everything else. And the thing is, this kid popped when I was watching Anthony Richardson last year. And, I mentioned because Anthony Richardson, did his thing, big play kind of guy though. And I even mentioned Ricky Parasol in my Richardson article last year. Thing is, man, I actually, as much as I love this pick, like I said, I'm not sure what's on Shanahan's mind, but he knows best. And if it's Ricky Parasol, then we're good, man. I heard him referred to as a bigger, faster Julian Edelman. And I was like, you guys kind of have to remember Edelman was a Super Bowl MVP. So that's some big shoes to fill. But besides that pick, man, it wasn't on this team. It was obvious. Even the fans knew it. The two glaring weaknesses for the secondary and whatever was going on the right side of our line. So fans were calling left and right, thinking O-line. Well, the thing is, the O-line has to gel, and there are a ton of – our O-line wasn't exactly bad, and it was just one of our more glaring weaknesses. But the secondary, that's the one thing, when it comes down to Patrick Mahomes, when it comes down to the Super Bowl, maybe this was in Shanahan's eyes. And, we picked another Florida kid, but this was Florida State, and it was a cornerback, Renardo Green. And, he's a pretty big kid, 6 foot, like 195, somewhere in there, or 185. Anyway, that's pretty big for a cornerback these days with all the receivers getting down there in weight, down to 170s, 180s, that kind of stuff. So, the kid can definitely, I'm sure he can play. I haven't watched a whole lot of films, but he definitely has some highlights though, man. Coming down to what I was talking about with the offensive line, a minute ago. We ended up picking Dominic Pooney out of Kansas, the guard. And, I looked at his profile, and he's got longer arms for a guard. I'm not sure if maybe Shanahan's going to try him out at right tackle or what they have going on there, because, McKivitz is coming back on a 1-year contract, and that's about it. I'm not sure. Like I said, Shanahan's coach and Lynch is a GM, and they do what they do. But, I do what I do. So I think that was a great pick. He is a strong kid, and I heard something he hadn't allowed a sack, and I don't remember how many snaps. I'm not going to throw off a number here, but kid had pretty good stats. I didn't have that written down here because my page got a little bit thick, but anyway. I don't know, man. Beyond that, we ended up with the safety, Malik Mustafa out of Wake Forest. Big, big hitting kind of kid, strong. This might be the pick where we're not sure where Dre Greenlaw is, after he tore his Achilles. And anymore, a 200-pound, 210-pound safety is pretty much linebacker here, and coming down in the box. That's what it comes to, because on this defense, there's leaders like Joey Bosa in them, but there's the enforcers, and that's the Dre Greenlaws of the bunch, and someone, if he's not ready, to start out the season, then we need somebody, and this kid out of Wake Forest just might be the guy. He has some great stats, good size, everything else. Coming up next, yeah, this just makes me laugh because Christian McCaffrey's only been in San Francisco for, a year and a half, but Shanahan needs to kind of understand that it's going to be a hard job to get McCaffrey to sit on that bench. But picking up, a 220-pound kid, 6'1", Isaac Garando out of Louisville, runs a 4.3 40. Like I said, 220 pounds. That's a pretty big dude. Who knows? If I was Christian, maybe I'd want to sit back and, taste some Gatorade on the bench once in a while. He's getting a little bit older, man. Past that, we got Jacob Cowling, Arizona, guard out of Jarrett Kingston, another Florida kid, Tatum Bethune, another linebacker, possibly, the backup. Cowling, I'm not sure where that's going to go. I was talking about the smaller receivers. This kid's like maybe 170 pounds, soaking wet on a good day. But, it is getting lighter and faster. Maybe he can fit out somewhere and not, get killed by someone like, at least Malik is on this team. But yeah, man, besides that, the turnover on our defensive line, I'm surprised that maybe something didn't come up there, but I think that was a draft plan with Shanahan, because we ended up trading for Malik Collins, signing Leonard Floyd, the kid from Penn State. I think Shanahan wanted to put, our needs someplace else and, really work on what he thought was going on with this team, because, we were literally a couple holding penalties away from a Super Bowl, hoisting that trophy, and Brock Purdy and all them. And, it just would have been great. But besides that, man, these are my Niners. And this year, last year, I don't know what it was. Something felt completely different. I knew we were going to the Super Bowl. There wasn't anybody to stop us. I wasn't even wary of the Eagles so much. They had a great team on paper, really high draft picks, but, with the leader back, Brock Purdy and everything else, they didn't stand a chance against us, and that just happened. This year, I don't know where we're going. I haven't really decided yet. Like I said, this is my first week out. I don't really have vibes from anywhere. And I just think that Shanahan, he did his job, and Lynch did his job. And I really hope that, Pearsall is the right pick over, some others like McConkey or Leggett or whoever was there. Like you mentioned when we were talking about the Cowboys and how deep this draft really was in receiver, and it's like, that's the guy you pick. Well, it better be the guy, at least according to me, I don't know, man.
Overall grade, what would you give the 49ers draft grade?
All right, man. With the draft grade, I have to say that he had a plan, and I think he executed that plan. So I would give him a B+, and he didn't go above and beyond. He's not going to get an A from me.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to say this about the 49ers draft. I'm only going to speak on 2 picks. I'm going to start with Ricky Pearsall, the wide receiver out of Florida. When you look at him, he's one of those guys who went down to the Senior Bowl and really put on the show. And that's when his stock really flew up from the 3rd rounder to, I was looking at maybe middle 2nd round. But, you got to look at these organizations. In the 49ers right now, y'all have a really good passing game, and y'all got other pieces like a Deebo Samuels, a Brandon Ayuk, a George Kittle, a Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams. We talking about all pro players, first team. But there's a rumor out there that y'all not going to re-sign Deebo Samuel. So y'all going to trade him. So y'all had to find a player that kind of fits the Deebo Samuel sort of, I want to say, model. And if you look at Pearsall, last year at Florida, game in and game out, pound for pound, he was the best player they had on the field. There was no question about it. He was the best player that they had on the field. But at the end of the day, I call him Cooper Kupp too. He's going to be an outstanding player. Then y'all second pick, Renato Green. Y'all had a lot of problems in the secondary last year. But when you look at it and you look what Mr. Green brings to the table, I'm going to go back to the first game of the year when he played at Florida State. You know what he did? He shut down Malik Neighbors, who was taken by the New York Giants. He shut him down completely. 14 pass breakups. I think that's going to be the most glaring pick for y'all in this draft. I think that young man is going to be a Pro Bowl player. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to leave it at this. Simply because this right here. You look at the tradition at Florida State at the defensive back position. Deion Sanders, Terrell Buckley, Leroy Butler, Corey Sawyer, and Cliff Abraham. Hey, man, I think those 2 picks are going to be home runs for the San Francisco 49ers. Not in terms right now of credibility, not in terms of right now it's a real high level model, but down the road, they're going to end up being real good football players in y'all organization. If you like the video today, please come and share it. We surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards Football. I'd like to give special thanks to my man, the very talented Mr. Logan Landers. Very thankful to Mr. William Yanish, rock star out of Colorado, an NFL draft guy to die. Breaking down the San Francisco 49ers draft. And I want to say once again, if you like the video, please come and share it. I've been your host, Vincent Turner. Y'all be blessed today here on